Good morning, guys. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For today's lesson, it's going to be different. Here, I want you guys to take a look at this slide. This entire week, we're going to cover Unit 4. And instead of me lecturing over a specific topic, for today's class, guys, I'm going to lecture you on how to improve your FRQs and how to just make it better. As I was reviewing over your FRQs, I noticed a lot of you guys are making similar mistakes, and I need to address those misconceptions. And I'm going to, for this lesson, give you a detailed description on what I expect for your FRQs. Some of you guys are closer to what I want you to do, but some of you guys still need to improve the FRQs. So the format's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to, first of all, teach you how to, what I expect for you from an FRQ. I'm going to model an FRQ. I'm going to model one that we worked on last week. After I show you guys how to model the FRQ, you guys are going to look over this entire PowerPoint. This PowerPoint is going to cover all of Unit 4. So what I want you guys to do is go through the lecture slides and just take notes. And make sure you take notes of vocabulary, big ideas, questions, and answers. And once you guys scroll through the entire PowerPoint, you guys are going to work on a FRQ on something called gerrymandering. I taught you this last semester, and if you don't remember what gerrymandering is, I need you guys to go to the appropriate slide where you can learn a little bit more about gerrymandering. So let's go into this. Take a look, guys. I gave you this FRQ last week. Last week we talked about Unit 3, and it was all about religions. And I'm going to give you a detailed description of what I'm looking for when you guys were working on this. Alright, take a look. Diffusion of religions. Last week we talked about ethnic religions, which is Hinduism and Judaism. And we also talked about universal religions. Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. And we talked about how all these religions, how they spread, why they spread, and where did they end up. So take a look. Part A. Part A says identify one religion that originated in Southwest Asia and a country today where the majority of people follow the religion. Okay, so for A, it says identify one religion that originated in Southwest Asia. So I need to figure out where in the world is Southwest Asia. If you look at this map, this right here is Asia, and right here will be North Asia, West Asia, South Asia, and then right here, this area will be considered East Asia. But if you look closer to this side is considered Southwest Asia or the Middle East. So what three religions arose from Southwest Asia? Pause the video, guys. Think about it. What three religions came from the Southwest region or the Middle East? Once you guys have thought about it, the three religions that came from that area is Judaism was the first one. It's one of the oldest religions. After that came Christianity in the 1st century during the Roman Empire. And then finally in the 6th century, 600 years after Christianity, came Islam in the city of Mecca and Medina in present-day Saudi Arabia, which is right here. So for A, identify one religion that originated. So for A, I need to identify the religion, which we already did. And a country today where the majority of people follow that religion. So I need to know, even though Christianity started right here in Israel, what country in the world do we find many Christians? Or for example, In today's world, in present day, where do we find many people who practice Islam? People who practice Islam are Muslims, and where would you most likely find them? And the answer to that is you can find them in Saudi Arabia. You can actually find many of them in North Africa, in Pakistan, Iraq, Afghanistan, and you can also find them all the way in Indonesia. And for Christianity, where you can find many Christians will be any country in Europe, uh, North America, South America, Australia, New Zealand, and those are a couple examples. So here's what I want you guys to type. Let's scroll down. A. FRQ Religion. Part A. Or just A. One religion that originated in Southwest Asia is Christianity. A country where majority of people follow the religion is the United States. Period. If when you guys worked on the FRQ, if you included the religion and you were able to identify a country, you got a point. So make sure that if you included those two parts, you got 1 point for part B. Let's look at for part A. Let's look at part B. Part B says now we need to identify one religion that originated in South Asia and a country in the world today where the majority of people follow the religion. So as I said, if we look at this map, this is Asia, and if we want to know where South Asia is, it will be right here. And there's actually two religions that started in South Asia, which is technically the country of India. The two religions will be Hinduism and Buddhism, and you can tell just by looking at this map. That's where Hinduism started, and that's where Buddhism started. When you want to answer this FRQs, make sure you guys restate the question. And what I mean by restate the question, it's right here. It's criteria for success, number 4. When I restate the question, is you just rewrite the question, you put it in your own words. So for part B, this is what I want you guys to write down. One religion that originated in South Asia is Hinduism. We know that's true because we can see it in a map. A country where majority of people follow the religion today is India. That is true for Hinduism. When we talk about Buddhism, even though Buddhism started in India, it actually moved to East Asia, and Buddhism is practiced heavily in China, in Malaysia, in Vietnam, in all these Asian countries right here. Let's go to part C. Notice for part A and for part B, just asking me to identify. When I have to identify, I just have to give them the answer, and that's all I have to do. Make sure I restate the question, I answer the question, and I give them the answer. And I did that for part A and for part B, so I already got 2 points right there. Let's look at part C. Describe the ways universal and ethnic religions differ. So right there, we need to look at the action verb. The action verb is usually at the beginning of the sentence, and the action verbs are identify, describe, explain, define, discuss. Whenever you see those words, you should already know how many sentences to write. So if I see the word describe, I know I need to write 2 sentences. So I need to describe how universal and ethnic religions differ. So I just need to write 2 sentences. Universal and ethnic religions differ, such as universal and ethnic religions differ, such as universal religions like Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. That is accurate information. Seek converts for their religion. Let me describe a little bit more. What do I mean by that? Okay, so I gave him the answer, so I need to give some a little bit more details. Universal religions have a message and they send missionaries or messengers to take their message around the world. So whenever I describe, I need to make sure that it's asking me to describe between the universal and ethnic religions. I need to find a difference, and I need to describe how are these two things different. How are these two types of religions different? I was able to do that for part C. I restated the question. I used 2 sentences. I answered all parts of the question, and I got a point for that. So let's look at part D. For part D, the action verb is explain. Whenever I see the word explain, I need to write at least 3 sentences, and I need to explain. The first thing I got to do is I got to read. It says, explain how hierarchical diffusion helped the spread of Christianity. So first, I need to figure out what is hierarchical diffusion. Hierarchical diffusion just means that the person at top has the idea, has the object, has the message, and they spread it to everyone who is below them. So for example, think of a president who makes a law, and they spread the message, and then everyone else below them has to follow them. So I need to explain how hierarchical diffusion helped the spread of Christianity. Here's my answer. The first thing I got to do is I got to restate the question. Hierarchical diffusion helped the spread of Christianity such as... Alright guys, notice how I restate the question, and then every time I write the word such as, I'm letting the person know that I'm about to give you the answer. Hierarchical diffusion helped the spread of Christianity such as Emperor Constantine commanding Christianity to be the official religion in the Roman Empire. So how do I know that answer? That answer was actually provided in the PowerPoint that I gave you. So Christianity existed during the 1st century. It existed in Israel, in Europe, and during that time, the Romans were the ones who were in control of all that area. And in the 3rd century, Emperor Constantine was the emperor, he was the leader, and he himself converted to Christianity. When he converted to Christianity, he made Christianity the official religion. So right there, I just explained it to you. You guys are good at when I ask you guys questions, you guys can actually explain it to me, but I need you guys to write it down. So right here, I give the answer, such as Emperor Constantine commanding Christianity to be the official religion in the Roman Empire. Emperor Constantine is the top ruler of the Roman Empire, and since he converted to Christianity, he made an edict. An edict is just a law. He made an edict for all Romans to practice and follow Christianity. All right, so I explained a little bit more there. I explained a little bit more there, so now I have to, I only wrote 2 sentences, so I have to write one more. In this case, we have a higher official pass down the religion to his inferiors, who then began to practice the religion which is still in use today. There you go, 3 sentences. Whenever I want you guys to explain, these are the type of explanations I need you guys to look for. I need you guys to look and figure out, why is this happening? How did this come to be? How does this work out? So that's for letter D. Let's take a look at letter E. E says describe. How relocation diffusion explains the spread of either Hinduism or Judaism. So first thing I need you guys to do is restate the question. Step 2. Oh, well, let's fix that. All right, so for letter F, over E, I'm sorry. Step number 1 is you need to restate the question. For step 2, you need to give the answer. Step 3, you need to describe how relocation diffusion explains the spread. I don't know if you guys noticed, for letter F, it says describe and explain. That's kind of confusing. I don't know why it has those 2 action verbs. So if you see those 2 words at the same sentence, I want you guys to write 3 sentences. Make sure to write 3 sentences when you see the action verb explain. I know it says the word describe. Usually when we see the word describe, you have to write 2 sentences, but just write the word. But if you see explain, just write 3 sentences, just to be safe. Take a look at F. That's the last one I want to go over. I know we're going to skip G for now, but take a look at letter F. It says define the concept of cultural landscape. So many of you guys, whenever you see the word define, all I want you to do is just give me the definition. So the first thing I need you guys to do is restate the question. The concept of cultural landscape is, and now here's where you give your answer, is how people express their cultural beliefs by creating and manipulating their landscape. That's one definition. And whenever you see the word define, you just have to restate the question, give the answer, and you just have to answer, just give me the definition in 1 sentence. So for describe, I need you guys to write 2 sentences. For define, identify, just give me the 1 answer in 1 sentence. And whenever it's explained, notice how it's a little bit, you need to add a little bit more meat to it. This is how I want you guys to write your FRQs. Your FRQs need to be looking like this. If they're not looking like this, then now you know what I'm looking for. So now I want to see you guys implement what I'm doing here on your FRQ. And here's the FRQ that you guys are going to be working on. You guys are going to be covering an FRQ on the topic of gerrymandering. Whenever you see the words define, you just have to give me the definition. When you see explain, you have to give me 3 sentences and actually explain the process. And whenever you see the word identify, that just means you guys just have to give me the answer in 1 sentence. And if you guys need a review over what is gerrymandering, you need to look at this PowerPoint that I discussed at the beginning of this lesson. Guys, if you have any questions, I'm gonna have office hours tomorrow, Wednesday at 1. Have a good day, guys.